Does anyone have a question?
Stuart, I have a question, Bob Sink.
Yes, Bob?
Rudy spoke a lot about asking for help. And he once even said doing that, during times of stress, 8, 9 hours a day. And it seems as if my part of that, of the asking, is working differently than if it's just a normal day. How best to be receiving in times of when you're really asking deeply like that.
Well, first of all, I don't know what a normal day is. I've never had a day in my life that's been normal. And secondly, look, you have meditation, you sit and you work on yourself. They say in the Bible, ask and you will receive. You have to ask. And you have to ask with strength, with need, with a power inside you that truly needs to grow spiritually. And sitting in meditation and asking that way, uh, answers will come. Spirit, Shakti will come. That'll transform the difficulties you're going through into, your spiritual life. That's I'll repeat it for the 800th time. That's why I have 7 classes a week here. So people can come and sit in these classes and ask to grow, to have a spiritual. I do. Every class I ask to grow, to have a spiritual life. And incrementally, the chakra system gets stronger and stronger, more open, more capable of absorbing spiritual energy, and therefore more capable of enabling us to function in the world, and transform those 8 or 9 hours of stress and tension into maybe 10 minutes of difficulty that we have the power to transform into chi, into energy that's of a positive nature. But by building that kind of system inside, that's how you get to receive enormously from a higher force. I mean, look, spiritual energy is not milk toast. It's very powerful energy. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Our covenant, and to use some biblical term, with higher energy is to do the work on ourselves that enables us to be able to receive it. Once we begin and do that kind of deep inner work, we don't go through 9 hours of torment. We can transform that sometimes in seconds into chi, into an open heart. But that's the reward of doing the inner work. And that's how you, look, that's absolutely not a normal day. Again, I don't know what a normal day is, I've never had a normal day in my life, but, that's how you transform the tension, the problems, the difficulties into energy that works for you. And that's the chi, that's the Shakti, that's the, transforming the human to the spiritual that takes place when we develop that kind of chakra system. I think that's how, Bob, I don't know another answer to this. I that's how it's. Look, you want to be a musician, you want to be an artist, you got to work at it. Listen, I mean, I've told that story before. I once went to a concert at Carnegie Hall. I think it was Vladimir Horowitz or Rubinstein or one of those guys, was playing. And he took one finger and touched a note, and the whole concert hall filled up with music. And I remember sitting there, how does he do that? That's unbelievable. And then I read about this person. He would practice 9 hours a day at developing his craft as a musician for years. Meditation classes is that kind of practice. Sitting home by yourself and doing inner work is that kind of practice. The development of a system inside that can, with one finger, transform 9 hours attention into a spiritual life. But if you don't build that kind of system inside, that 9 hours of tension can eat you alive. Exhausts you, it cripples you emotionally, mentally, and we don't have the resource to do anything about it. I mean, when I was a kid, I would have 3 months of depression at a time, literally 3 months of depression at a time. And I finally would just shrug my shoulders and I say, I just got to wait till it ends. I didn't know what to do. And it was driving me crazy. When I learned from Rudy how to develop a chakra system, how to transform that depression into chi, how to use it to grow inside myself. Those 3 months became, maybe 2 minutes. And those 2 minutes were not unhealthy. They were a reminder that I haven't arrived yet. I still have to grow. So I approached all of that disease in a much different way, and I still approach it in a much different way. But that's the byproduct of building a system inside that can do it. And I never knew anything like that. But then after sitting with Rudy, I said, my God. And then he would tell me about his youth and how crazy he was. And mother kicked him down a flight of steps and cracked open his head when he was 2 years old. And he went through hell, Rudy, when he was younger. But never stopped working on himself and building a system that was capable of transforming that darkness into light. I mean, I got a letter yesterday from a gentleman who's in prison in Oregon, and he writes me. I get about every 2 weeks. I get a letter from him, and he's talking about how he's transforming the prison, the darkness. I don't know how many of you have ever been in prisons, but they're really dark places, and how he's transforming that into light, into love, into his spiritual life. I mean, it was so touching to read that letter. And at the end of the letter, he, really moved me, thanked me for helping him to do that. I mean, I don't know how you can have a normal day in a prison, It's beyond the pale, how people live there. But turning it around, learning how to use whatever your environment is, whatever the life you live, your job, your family, your everything, to an opportunity to transform it into a spiritual life. Does anyone else have a question? I hope that answered your question.
That was great, Stuart. Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question? you would like to ask?
Stuart, this is Jan.
Yes, Jan.
Could you talk about the Om sound and if, when it comes, do we interact with it or just witness it?
I mean, just witnessing it is going to take you nowhere. I mean, the whole purpose of the Om sound manifesting in your life is that you are getting right to the source of creative energy, to the source of all energy that manifests in the universe. That sound, it's looking for an opening inside you, a chakra system that's strong enough to absorb it. And that sound, will help you to develop a very strong inner life. And then it's one's responsibility to open and build a system that can absorb that sound, not just to witness it, not even to interact with it, to just let it come and do its job, for God's sake. Its job is to help us all to grow and to get closer to God, to get closer to enlightenment. That's its job. So we don't interact with it, we just open and receive it, let it work on us. And it'll only work on us if the chakra system is strong enough to allow it to do that. Otherwise, it's just like water flowing past a rock. Get that sound and it comes and goes. And they call it, there's a name for it in science, tinnitus or something like that, They have a name for it. And trying to cure people of it. And it's just ridiculous. It's just creative energy. And if people open their chakra system, they'll get cured of it because it'll absorb inside. And it'll help them to grow in such a profound way. So don't try to interact with it. Don't try to understand it. Don't try to witness it. Just let it work on you. It's like a cosmic physician is coming down to open you and help you get closer to God, help you to grow spiritually, to get to the source of creative energy in the universe. Does anyone else have a question they would like?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Yeah. I hope the things I talk about are clear, it's taken a million years to get to the place where this kind of energy comes out of me, And it's my job to share it, to give it away, to use it to help people to grow and develop spiritual life in themselves. I mean, life has gotten very simple for me. Why did I come here? To do what I do. Cut very simple. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? Okay, there'll be meditation on Sunday. There'll be a class at my apartment on Saturday, but most of you live too far away for that. But if you happen to live in the neighborhood or in the radio, there's meditation Saturday at 6 o'clock. Okay, thank you. Bless you all. I'll repeat it again. As I said in the acknowledgements of my book, I really spoke half a paragraph on this, that I have to be grateful and thankful to every single person who's ever attended a meditation class of mine, because every single one of them has helped me to get to a place in myself that was deep enough, strong enough to be able to write a book like that. So I'm grateful to each and every one of you. God bless you all, you know? Now I have my beautiful daughter coming, and I think that's extraordinary. Really extraordinary. So God bless you all, and thank you, and there'll be meditation on Sunday. I'll see you then.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hey, Stuart.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.